Celtics declined Lakers trade offer for Dennis Schroder that included second-round picks players. The Celtics talked to a number of different suitors for Dennis Schroder ahead of the trade deadline last week before ultimately electing to move him to the Houston Rockets in a 4-player deal for Daniel Theis. However, trade talk rumors that could have led to a reunion with Schroder's former team in the Lakers emerged in the hours before the trade deadline. According to Steve Bulpett of Heavy, the Lakers made a reasonable offer that included a couple of second-round picks and some veterans minimum players to the Celtics. Ultimately, Boston rebuffed them before deciding on the Houston deal on Thursday, which shipped Bruno Fernando and Enes Freedom to the Rockets in exchange for the veteran center. The deal became official on Sunday per league sources after a slight delay. The Lakers roster is loaded with veteran minimum deals, so it's tough to totally judge this proposal that Boston turned down entirely without knowing all of the names involved. However, some combination of DeAndre Jordan, Kent Bazemore and Wayne Ellington are the likeliest bets to have been included to make the money work for salary matching, since those guys have been on the outskirts of the Lakers rotation for weeks now. Should a pair of those players along with some draft compensation enticed Boston over nabbing Theis on an inflated contract from Houston? The rationale behind the Celtics' choice makes more sense when considering the other factors involved. First, Brad Stevens was ultimately looking for help for the present and future if he was going to move Schroder. Theis provides valuable depth in the frontcourt in the rotation behind Al Horford and Rob Williams, and that's useful for a team that wants to win now. DeAndre Jordan would not have done that this year, and it's unlikely Ellington or Bazemore would have cracked Boston's wing rotation either, given their uneven play this season and lack of defensive reliability. The bigger factor in play though is likely roster spots. The Celtics want to build up the back end of their roster rather than having it be a place for dead weight, something that was the case during the first half of this season. Instead of taking back 2 players the team didn't want from LA just to nab a couple second-round picks, Stevens valued the prospect of opening up more roster spots with a 3-for-1 deal. Those open roster spots have yet to bear fruit for Boston, but depending on how the buyout market shakes out and what young prospects emerge from the G League or overseas, the Celtics will be able to take a shot at adding plenty of young talent in the coming weeks. That possibility would not have been there for Boston after a Schroder deal with the Lakers if the team was also going to stay under the luxury tax for the year, since waiving guaranteed money would have been required to open up more roster spots. It remains to be seen what will happen with Schroder in Houston. The Rockets have given no hints that they would be willing to buy him out just yet, but Schroder is sure to have many suitors, including the Lakers, if he does hit the open market. In the meantime, the Lakers will have to wait and see if any valuable names can help in free agency after standing pat at the deadline. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.